How you doing, Slayers? It's your girl Renee Rochelle with another video for Skllet Slat. So today we're gonna cook pork steaks along with some Spanish rice with some tomatoes in it, and then we're gonna pair it with some string beans, some fresh green beans. All right. So let's see how we're gonna cook it today. Here's our ingredient. All right. So to go along with the pork steak, we're gonna pair it with a pepper stir fry right there with some yellow onion, red, yellow, and green bell peppers. And then we have our French green beans, all right, our yellow rice, and here's our seasonings right here in front for our peppered steak. All right, the liquid smoke, all right, the sazonador, and some coriander. And then for our green beans, we're gonna use smoked paprika, some chicken bouillon, and butter. That's it. That's all you need, all right? So in the back, I already have my water boiling for my yellow rice, that's Spanish style. And I'm just using this straight out of the Iberia container. We're gonna toss that in, and we're gonna add just 2 cubes of butter. Right, so as soon as most of the water dissolves, or evaporates I should say, I'm going to go ahead and place the top on it. I've already added in those 2 teaspoons of butter, all right? So here's the water already simmering for our green beans. That's about a cup of water. And this is just about 2 cups of green beans, or French green beans. And I like to keep the end tips on and cut the other end. So we're going to add that right to the water, and we're going to give it about 10 minutes to start simmering before we add our seasonings. Okay, most of the water is already dissolved. Let's turn it down on low, and we're going to go ahead and put our top on. That's going to take about 10 minutes or more, and that rice should be done. That's all it takes. So I have a cast iron skillet already heating up, and it's just starting to smoke, so I know that it's nice and hot. So let's go ahead and season our pork steak. All right, we're going to coat both sides with some liquid smoke. Just like that. Alright. Give it a couple of tosses, and we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. About 3 tablespoons, so it's about 2 tablespoons of the sazonador verde, along with the coriander. Alright. Pat it in. Flip it over and repeat. Alright. So that's about a tablespoon and a half of the coriander and the same amount of the sazonador. Alright. And nice and even, pat it in. Let's add it to our skillet. Alright. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to give her about 4 minutes on each side. Alright, so our green beans have been on for about 5 minutes. I'm going to toss them around so that they cook nice and even. So at the 10-minute mark, we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings, and then we're going to temp them or put a top on them and let them steam the rest of the way. So it's been about 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on our pork steak. Alright, and she's doing pretty good. So I'm going to slide her off to the side, because right here is where I want to go ahead and place in my stir-fried vegetables. Alright, so our pork steak is getting along pretty nicely, don't you think? So let's go ahead and add in our stir-fried vegetables. Remember, we have the tricolored peppers and the onions. And these are frozen ones that I got for $1. I won't tell you where, because y'all might try to buy them out. But you can cut them up fresh if you want, but we're going to cheat today, alright? So we want to make sure that the pot is, or the pan is still nice and hot. And I'm using a cast iron skillet, alright? Now, what did you say, Michelle?
I said, what type of oil are you using in your pan?
I'm glad you asked. We have just straight vegetable oil in the pan. Just straight vegetable oil.
Sweet vegetable oil.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's check on our green.
Vegetable oil do you put in the pan?
It's about 1/4 cup of vegetable oil.
1/4 cup. Okay.
1/4 cup. So
1/4 cup.
yeah. So our green beans. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
All the water has almost went out. So let's go ahead and add in our butter. All right. So we added 3 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna stir them around nicely and then lower the heat.
Delicious.
It smells delicious. You can smell it through the phone. So we're gonna turn down the heat, let the butter melt out. And once the butter is melted out, let's go ahead and add in some of our seasonings. Remember, we have the smoked paprika and the chicken bouillon. So we did 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of the chicken bouillon. And just add in a little more water, about 1/4 cup. And let's add in another 1/4 cup of water.
So about how long do you let the veggies cook?
The veggies cook about 10 minutes, and these are fresh French green beans.
Okay.
All right. So they got about a total of about 5 more minutes left, and they'll be done. Boom. And that's it.
Okay.
Michelle, are you there? Where are you, caller?
Right here.
All right. So what I want to do, or what I like to do, is I take the vegetables and I plug them up underneath of the meat here. All right. Right underneath for the last about 3 or 4 minutes to make sure that all that good juice goes right down into those vegetables. And then we're going to go ahead and just pop on some foil for the last few minutes. All right, and we're just about done. Our peppered pork steak is already complete, and look at her. She is beautiful, ain't she? Our green beans are ready to go. And our rice looks delicious as well. Let's plate. All right, boys and girls, and we're ready to plate. Are you ready, Michelle?
Yes.
All right, let's plate it up. So I've already added, of course, you see my Spanish style rice and my French cut green beans. Let's go ahead and add in our pork steak. Boom. How we doing? We doing all right? And let's top it off with the peppers and onions right across the top. I'm ready. I hope y'all are.
I am.
You are? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And there we have it. We have our pork steak topped with peppers and onions, Spanish rice, and our French cut green beans. See y'all next time. Skillet Slat.